I just saw an angel, and he had big white wings. And that's all I really noticed. He looked like a normal man, but his wings were big and folded up over his back. And all of a sudden, boom, I knew a bunch of stuff. And he said the angels of God that have wings, they're called into the throne room of God, and they're assigned wings for their assignment, or whatever they need for the assignment. So if the assignment is something that's a trumpeter, they get a trumpet, but they don't necessarily have wings. But this angel said that if the assignment requires swift flight and movement over here and doing this and doing that, then they'll have wings. And he also said that if the assignment is something bigger, like then they'll have a horse. And if like for example in the book of Revelation, we see the angel that's given a great sword and a horse. So that means that he had to do a lot of movement, and the sword is useful for completing the mission. And same with the rider on the white horse has a crown and a bow. And people say, well, it doesn't say he had arrows. Well, it doesn't have to tell you what he had blue shoes and a green baseball cap. Of course, if you have a bow, he had a bow and 7 arrows, and the bow had a quiver, and on the quiver was a tassel, and on the tassel was a green and blue. I mean, how much detail do you need? I'm just saying. Obviously, if he was given a bow, he also had arrows. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord told me that the scales, the rider on the black horse who had scales, that was a new invention that somebody was going to get a revelation idea of how to build a new, more accurate scale back in the days of low technology mechanical items that were being built back during the age at which that occurred. Anyway, so when we see in the scriptures that for example, in Zechariah chapter 6, it sees the same 4 angels of Revelation chapter 6. And in that, they're with chariots, meaning they have multiple horses. So that must mean that travel, they need to move a lot. And instead of being on horseback, which is very uncomfortable over time, they're given a chariot, which means they can probably relax and chill a little bit more. And there's more power involved. I mean, that's just speculation based on the revelation I just had.